Yeah, they sit me on top and they get mad cause they can't top me. Got me running up the skull when they even matter cause they can't stop me. Yeah, they see I'm trying to watch me and they trying to copy and it's looking sloppy. Yeah, we about to get it poppin', talking non-stop, can I get a copy? Yeah, they sit me on top and they getting mad cause they can't top me. Got me running up the skull when they make money, make money, make money, then you take money, take money, take money.
Hello and welcome back to KSB TV. This is Crypto Convos and I'm your host, BlaKC HEXican. I am excited for today. Oh, lovely. We have some people here in the chat. What's going on? Avid Hex, Hexy Quinn, Leroy C4. Glad you guys could join me here today. I'm excited for today's stream. If you have been with me before, you know that I have restarted my crypto journey, found a new wallet for the purposes of education and learning. I have started looking at what cryptos I'm going to be buying on my new wallet, how I'm going to transact. Yesterday, I talked with Adam from Viba Finance about on-ramping fiat through centralized exchange. We know that there are tons of options to do that, but today I'm interested in seeing if there are other ways of going about getting into the crypto space through peer-to-peer transactions. So when I thought about this topic, I wanted to talk with someone that I know has a serious commitment to onboarding, that has brought people into the ecosystem himself, and has also done his fair share of bringing fiat or dollars on and off the system. So today I have Hexray Vision in the back room. And how you doing, Hexray?
I'm doing really good. I used to have the studio here at the house, and then I moved the studio to its own location. So you get me, which I guess is pretty appropriate. I'm in the bedroom on Valentine's Day. It's where all the magic happens. And just good to be here. I'm sorry I was so late into the green room, but it's good to be here.
Oh, no, you were right on time. And yes, happy Valentine's Day to you, to your beautiful wife, Hexray Chick. Hopefully she's around somewhere where she gets that Valentine's message. And to my husband at work, it's just another day around here, but love is in the air, I guess.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, you guys make a good couple. You guys make a good team.
We try. So for those of the people in the audience here today that are not familiar with you, maybe just tell us a little bit about your background as far as being in the crypto space and how did that lead you to becoming Hexray Vision?
Yeah, The long story short is basically I tried quite a few different things to attain financial independence. Was never a good employee. I never liked being told what to do, and unfortunately, a lot of jobs just give you enough money to make it to the next paycheck. Right? They like cover your bills. If you're really lucky, you got $50 left over, and you do it again week after week after week. And when I was 16, working at Burger King and washing dishes at Denny's, I was like, this is ridiculous. How the hell do people do this for 40 to 60 years? I couldn't wrap my head around it. And so I started studying stuff like Robert Kiyosaki, real estate, stocks, bonds, options, trading, multi-level marketing, anything that I saw that was a way out of the regular 9 to 5. And unfortunately, a lot of them aren't really great ways for most people to make it out of the middle class. A lot of them require an insane amount of work or an insane amount of money to make a lot of these things work. And crypto is the first thing that I found where the little guy actually has a chance because it's a brand new technology, it's a brand new way of money. And so, because you're on that cutting edge, you have an advantage that most people in the world, even the rich, don't have this advantage right now, unless they're dropped into to what we're learning and seeing how things evolve over the last 10 years or so that crypto's been around. So yeah, the last thing I did in the regular world was I drove a truck. I went wherever the money was. That meant like the oil fields, the gold mines, and usually that was like your family didn't want to go with you to these remote, harsh places. So I would go work 6 or 8 week, and I did that for about a decade. And the good news about being behind the wheel of a truck, as a lot of the people in our community can attest to, is it gives you a lot of time, and you can turn that time into a classroom of your own. So we have people like Bitfinesse, we have Davis, we have a lot of people in the community that are still putting those 18 wheels on the road, and you'll see them popping up and spending a lot of their time learning from streams, learning from podcasts and things like that. And so that's where I found and kind of cut my teeth on crypto, was back in like 2014 and 15. A trader that I was learning trading from said it's time to check out Bitcoin, because Bitcoin had just crashed from $1,000 down to $150 on that wave, on the 2014 wave. And I looked into it, and I was all about freedom, right? I hate people telling me what to do. And so it said, hey, we can route around the governments, we can route around the banks, and we can do our own thing. And that really excited me, and that really like made me obsess over that rabbit hole. Now, unfortunately, Bitcoin didn't save us from the banks and governments just yet, and it may not, but the technology is there. So if you can form a community, which Hex was the coin that really brought me financial freedom, and the community is really what makes Hex special and sets it apart from all the other cryptos out there. So if you have the right community and the technology, now you have an opportunity to do something special in your life and attain the level of freedom that you're not going to find at working 9 to 5, or even running a business, because we've got a lot of really smart, ambitious, amazing Hexicans out there grinding and doing their own thing, being entrepreneurs. And they'll tell you this is not passive income. This is like 3 full-time jobs just so that I can be my own boss. Right? So yeah, it's a magical place and time we find ourselves in.
Yeah. So you basically found Bitcoin, I would say relatively early, and like the idea behind crypto, the freedom that it gave you. And then at some point early, you found Richard Hart and Hex, and then that has kind of turned into a new life for you, you would say.
Yeah, definitely. Richard Hart was the only person giving really good advice on Bitcoin back in the day. He was calling the tops, calling the bottoms, and explaining what problems that they were having with the Ethereum network. A lot of those problems still exist today. Hex was launched on the Ethereum network, and we saw them triple our fees with the functions that we use. We saw them get insanely expensive whenever their network gets congested and busy. And so yeah, he was the guy that was calling the shots and dropping as much honesty as I could find in the cryptoverse. Everyone else was like, this is the hot new alt, or this is where you should trade, and this is where you should margin trade. And, it was basically just gambling on steroids for most people. And it
Right.
still is. Crypto is like 99.9% gambling. And then 0.01% is like new technology and community and delayed gratification. And so we find ourselves in this little tiny group of delayed gratification, where we put our money where our mouth is. We make a commitment, and the code just does what the code does. We have to trust that if we do something, a human being is going to do something too, and not
Right.
run off with the money, not give the money back to us like we've seen with a lot of exchanges and middlemen. And so here
Yeah.
we are in this magical place where the code and us have this awesome thing. And the only thing that was really messing it up was the Ethereum, and, as you were saying earlier, the fiat on ramp and off ramp. Like, how do you get the money from the real world into the crypto world and back out?
Right.
And for me, the majority of the money that I've put in and come out has been through places like getting Bitcoin on Cash App and then
Mhm.
converting it, or through big exchanges like Coinbase. But
Mhm.
with Coinbase, you've really got to develop a relationship with them over time. You've got to raise your levels of your minimums amounts to withdraw and deposit over time. And a lot of people in this day and age, people are not willing to wait weeks and months to move their money. Even
Right.
the bank moves it faster than that, and the bank is a dinosaur, right?
Yeah.
So anyways, yeah, that's what I was going to say. And the first thing you realize when you take a lot of money out of crypto is that the government is waiting there with their greedy hands. And they're like, hey, give me some of that. It's like, but you feel like it's like the little red hen, right? You're like, you didn't help me make the bed. You didn't help me plant this. You guys are just like, taking my money.
Yeah,
And that
absolutely.
opens a whole new learning curve of taxes, and
Mhm.
what the government will let you write off, what they won't let you write off, what they consider the long-term or short-term capital gain. But that's all stuff that I wish I had started learning sooner.
Mm.
But it's something that you are forced to learn once you make big crypto gains and bring them into the real world.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that all of that was interesting to digest, and I'm like, where should I go? Because at one point I'm like, I gotta ask him this, and I'm like, I gotta ask him this. But in all, what I'm doing is essentially starting my learning journey over, right? When I got into crypto, it was really just like most wives, our husbands are in. And I don't want to just make all of these crazy financial decisions without at least telling you about it. So
Mm-hmm.
this is what we're doing, right? And then it's kind of like, okay, well, I want to learn too. I want to know, how to operate a hardware wallet and all this. Okay, well, here, buy this one, do this, make this transaction, and then you're just kind of following somebody else's game plan, right? And going on tour, and I know that you can relate to this because I mean, you obviously have the same type of passion that I have for onboarding, for bringing people into the ecosystem, for teaching new or no pointers or new people into the system because you yourself drove across the United States to not only take part in the Texan meetup, that tour, but then again to be a part of the crypto boot camp, right? Over in, what was that, North Carolina, I believe that was in.
Yeah, that
Was
was
that?
in Raleigh, North Carolina. And that
Yeah.
was just a whole town, because I talked to this dude on my stream and on the internet, and he says, my goal is to help 1 million people. And
Mm,
I thought he was trolling me, because that's what it's on my website, is like 1 million people. That's my new goal. My goal for 26 years was to not have someone tell me what to do. And when I met that goal, I was like, oh, well, shoot, what do I do now? Like,
yeah.
it was lost. And so I thought, well, why don't I take the 8 years of crazy stuff that I've learned through mostly mistakes and try to compact it into like as few hours as possible. So when someone
Mm,
is looking into this, we can try and give them the short version and the more meaningful stuff. And what I noticed in North Carolina was that Rags to Riches got up and he used um, his video series, which I believe is mycryptoclassroom.com. It's free. All it
mhm.
requires is an email address. So you can, even if you give them a throwaway email address, they don't care. They're going to let you in. And he started talking about the story of money. So he's talked about the story of how we got to where we're at in the country with money, and the story of how Bitcoin came out. And I realized very quickly that people don't learn through facts and pictures and figures. I mean, some people do. We call them autistic. The autistic people and a lot of guys that love numbers and strategies, they really catch on to the facts. But myself and a lot of people, they need a story to kind of put this all into context. And so he got up, and if you go back and watch that crypto bootcamp, you'll realize he's going from story, then an idea, and then a story, and then another idea, right? And so my laptop's trying to die on me here. But basically, that's kind of where we're at right now. Is we're trying to find a story, and a story that makes sense to people, so they can use some of this information in their lives.
Right. So I know for me, when dealing in these onboarding type of situations, right, you have all these new people coming at you. One of the primary questions that you get most foremost is like, how do you get your money in there? How do you get your money out of there? Right? Like that seems to be the biggest concept that people struggle with, is the fact that you understand how to put your money into the traditional banking system, and you understand that that money is available to you on your debit card, or you can walk into a branch and take it out. But people seem to have a little bit harder of a time understanding this idea of, self custody, of controlling your own wallet, your own funds, but then needing either some type of exchange or possibly peer to peer to get your money in and out. Right. So for someone who has no contact with anyone in crypto, for the most part, I would say your only option is to KYC yourself into a centralized exchange, make some type of Ethereum USDC purchase. If you have been learning about crypto and understand self custody, you understand that you're not going to keep those things on the centralized exchange. You're going to send it off into your MetaMask and then do your swaps on some type of DEX like Uniswap. But for somebody who has found their way into a community, Hex per se, like our community, do you advocate or see there being a road to peer-to-peer transactions where you can literally just say from me to you, hey, you have been in crypto for a long time, you have some Hex that you're willing to sell, or some stable coin or ETH, can we just initiate that trade?
Yeah, there actually used to be a couple of websites. One was called localcryptos.com, and the other one, I forget the name of it, but basically it was more like a Craigslist, where you could go on there and you could do stuff like a bank transfer, bank wire, deposit, Zelle, a whole bunch of different types of money or payment systems. And they're just barely shutting those down right now. A couple of them just went out of business this week, where the banks that were working with these websites.
Oh no, it was getting good. It looks like we lost Hex Revision for a second here. I'm sure he'll try to reconnect and then come back to us. Until we do have him, is there anybody in the chat that has any questions or knowledge when it comes to peer-to-peer transactions? That's something that I've been asked many times about. People that are looking for alternatives to the KYC process, or just feeling more comfortable going through somebody that they trust in the community. I know that there's a large level of trust that would be involved in doing your transactions this way, but I'm interested to see or to hear from the chat if any of you guys have considered doing peer-to-peer transactions, or have actually utilized that soldier hex, right, straight into somebody else's wallet, as opposed to off ramping through the traditional fiat or exchange systems, right? while we wait for Hexray to come back, because he is, the knowledgeable guy on this topic, I think I'll go ahead and do what I was going to do at the end of the stream and just provide some updates as to what KSB has going on. And then hopefully he's able to return to us. If you have not checked out our hexcruise.com website, please check that out. We are selling out on April 24th, going to the Bahamas, leaving from Fort Lauderdale. Right now, we have 86 guests confirmed and paid on the Hex Cruise. So it is going to be an awesome 4 days traveling. We got our Hex Cruise t-shirts back. Those are now available on KSB TV. And I see Hexray is back, so I'll stop shilling. Look, I don't want to keep going with the conversation without you, but I will take this time to chill a little.
No, please do. I was rug pulled by a lack of power. I had a power supply problem I thought I fixed, but I didn't. So I apologize for that. This should actually give your audience a lot of confidence. You don't even know how to plug in a laptop, and you can become financially free with crypto. That's for real, right there. Like I looked at the power supply, and I had plugged it into the headphone jack.
Nice.
Somehow it had fit. Don't ask me how that even worked, but like I said, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. I would suggest if you didn't know someone that you could buy crypto from, obviously if you have a friend that's willing to sell you crypto and you're not going to rat them out to the IRS or whoever for money transmitter BS, that is definitely the best way to start. But Cash App is one of the fastest ways to get your money from a bank into crypto. It does have a couple extra steps because Cash App only sells Bitcoin.
Right.
So you'll have to download a wallet like the Exodus wallet or something that converts Bitcoin to the Ethereum network or wherever you want to get it to. So it's a couple steps. It is a little bit of a pain in the butt, but there's a lot of videos on YouTube that'll explain to you how to move your Bitcoin off of the Cash App on your phone onto a wallet where you can switch it.
How are the fees there?
They're horrendous. They're really high, unfortunately, but that's kind of what you get because you'll be KYC'd into the Cash App, but you won't be KYC'd into the wallet, into the Exodus wallet, right? So that once it goes through that process, it's basically anonymous money. All the Cash App knows is that you bought X number of Bitcoin, and they do have minimums too. So like if you try to swap $20 or $10 of Bitcoin, is probably not going to let you. It probably starts at like $150 or above. So that's the quickest way. But I would do more than one thing at the same time, right? So I would start with the Cash App, try to get some Bitcoin through there. At the same time, I would start a account with somewhere like Gemini or Coinbase or a couple of big ones. Because, for instance, if you're trying to move a lot of money out of this, you can always go back through Cash App. You can convert everything back to Bitcoin, send it to your Cash App, and cash it out, right? And there will definitely be a trail there. They're going to send you a 1099-B at the end of the year saying, you cashed out this much. That's between you and the IRS. You got to figure it out, right? But if you're taking a lot more than that out of places like Coinbase, let's say that you've got 10, 20, 30, 40 grand coming out of Coinbase on a regular basis. You never know when they're going to get unpleasant with you, let's say. You never know when they're going to be like, well, we need to know like your dog's middle name before we release this, or we need a selfie, or we need a blood sample, or they might just say, we can't do business with you anymore, and we can't tell you why. That happens all the time with banks and exchanges. That happened with Binance with a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, I was on Binance for a while. I tried moving $200 during the adoption amplifier, switching it from Bitcoin to Ethereum, and they made me send them a video of myself.
Wow.
And I was like, all right, bye forever, Binance. I'll never, ever use you again.
Yeah. Me and Adam talked a lot about that yesterday. The centralized exchange it seems to be the necessary evil, but don't just lock yourself into one, because once that one decides to restrict your access in any way, then you might find yourself stuck or needing to start the KYC for somewhere else and then going through that long process of trying to get approved. So it's probably a good idea to go ahead and get established with a couple of different ways to get your funds in and out. But I want to talk a little bit more about what you were saying as far as, if you have a friend, as long as they don't report you to the IRS, because I've had conversations with multiple people about what is the legality of peer-to-peer transactions, right? It's not illegal for me to give my friend cash, right? If I just want to loan my friend cash or just give it to him, there's no issue with that. So why would there be an issue with sending your friend crypto or, possibly exchanging it for cash, for money?
Well, we're getting mixed signals from the government right now. Like
Mhm.
they call crypto a commodity when it suits them, and then they call it a money or a currency when it suits them. And then they change whatever. We really don't get a good answer from them, right?
Right.
So the truth is, like, there's a lot of ways around selling crypto. Like, someone could pay you a consulting fee,
Mm-hmm.
and if they happen to get some crypto out of that, then that doesn't have to be necessarily selling crypto. Does that
Mm-hmm.
make sense?
Right.
Or another great way is to sell services or goods for crypto,
Right.
because then you can receive crypto. Let's say you're a hairdresser, let's say you do nails, let's say you mow lawns, whatever it is. If you make friends with people with crypto, they're more than happy to pay you in crypto, because they probably got that crypto for nothing a few years ago. Like,
Mm-hmm.
they probably got it for 100x less 3 years ago, and they're already not loving pulling the money out through the normal finance, through the exchanges. And so they're looking to pay people, you know, in crypto, or buy things in crypto. So if you got a
Absolutely.
boat to sell, a car to sell, whatever, try crypto first. Look up crypto on your local, Facebook group or whatever, wherever people are buying, selling stuff in your area, or buying, like right now, Hexray Chick bought these cupcakes for Valentine's Day, right? So she found someone on Facebook. They make these really fancy cupcakes, and she's buying them. Of course, she's probably using Venmo or PayPal. But just
Mhm.
imagine you're trying to start your crypto journey, and you're really good at making cupcakes. So you're making them for weddings, you're making them for like birthdays, Valentine's Day, whatever. Put on there, hey, I accept crypto, and
Mhm.
you'll be surprised that people will reach out and be like, hey, I know she accepted. And even if they don't want your service, that's probably someone in your area that you can create a relationship with, because not
Right.
only do you want to create relationships with multiple exchanges, you want to create relationships with multiple crypto people, right?
Mhm.
Nerds. Find the nerds in your community or in your area that you can trust, that probably have a lot of fiat and a lot of crypto, and are willing to help you out and do exchanges with you in person. Because the whole point of crypto or Bitcoin was, it was supposed to be peer-to-peer currency. Now, unfortunately, it's failed because the network can't really handle everyday transactions
Mhm.
between people. But we can actually push that along and use it as peer-to-peer currency with people that want to use it. That's really the best use for crypto, and the best way to get it, and the best way to spend it, because
Right.
it allows you the most amount of privacy, and the less hassles with the government and taxes.
Hmm. And I mean, I feel like that's where the majority of people that use crypto want to see it go. They want to see it be an actual currency for all types of trade, to be able to buy your cars, your houses, even your groceries, like anything. It would be, ideal to be able to use your crypto. It makes me wonder why in such a strong community like the Hex community, right? Why we haven't seen there be like an initiative to start a group that facilitates or a means to, peer-to-peer transact, right? Because if
Right.
you just know somebody, like if I just know you and I'm like, oh, I trust Hexray, I want to buy some Hex. I'm gonna see him soon. I'm gonna bring him $500 cash. I still have to trust that you are going to send me the 500 back, right? Unless I just stand there with you while you do it. But if we're state to state, then there's a level of trust there. So I wonder, could there ever be a platform created within a community that enables that a little bit?
Yeah, I think so. That's kind of where things were at on the other exchange. They had a escrow account. So the escrow account would hold the money and hold the Bitcoin to make sure people were treated fairly. And on top of that, there was a reputation, right? So you had a rating like, hey, I've done 1,000 transactions and they all went through, everyone's satisfied. So if you are like trying to buy $100 crypto from me, I'm not going to risk that reputation for $100,
Right.
because it took me a couple of years to build that reputation up and work with customers. And so the reputation system works really well. They had that on those other local cryptos. Someone should definitely, and that's the thing, it's kind of like a hydra, right? Because even though the government shut down these ones or went after them and made it uncomfortable for them to do business, you're going to see some take their place, because there's a need for it, there's a demand for it, and there's fees, because they were charging a little fee on top of what they were doing, and that's good money. Like just like the exchanges that we use to trade crypto from crypto, there's going to be so much competition there because the fees are just free money. Once you write the software and people are using it, you really don't have to do much for that money. And so we've seen people try to make I know that Coast has been working on a fiat on ramp where you would KY yourself into a bank, right? But then you would actually transfer money from one of your accounts to another one of your accounts, which doesn't require KYC, right? And when you transferred this into another account that you owned, it would burn those dollars and turn them into stable dollars. And now you would have crypto on the blockchain, but as far as anyone knows, that's just your bank with money going in and out of your own account to yourself. Does that make any sense?
Kind of.
Yeah. So basically, you're transferring money to a place, and that money's getting burnt or held in reserve for a stable coin, or I don't know if we can say stable coin anymore. I know that there's a lot of stuff about jargon right now, but basically it'd be a dollar coin.
Right.
And then when you wanted to cash out into the real world, you would be burning your dollar coins, and it would show back up in your own bank account as regular US dollars.
Yeah.
So that's what they're working on. Hopefully they get that passed in
And
every state.
Who is that?
That was CoastOX
Okay.
and Stoic. They're working on that. They've been trying to get that going as well as they can. There's definitely going to be someone's going to have to fix this problem that we have, make it a lot easier for people to use. But at the same time, I don't see a point where everything's not crypto.
Right.
I mean, if you use Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, all they are Excel spreadsheets, right? All banks are Excel spreadsheets that say how many US dollars and pennies are in which account. And none of that stuff exists in the physical world. They don't have physical dollar bills for all the money they got in the bank. They don't even have the change, right? We saw all the change disappear during this last fun pandemic that we went through, where they're like, oh yeah, like we're just not going to use change anymore. So all it takes is for them to go into their software and change pennies to hearts or dollars to hexes or any cryptocurrency. And that's what the government, the US government's working on, making their own crypto, even though our US dollar is a crypto right now. It's a digital crypto. It's just on a private server where they run the nodes.
And it needs a set inflation rate as opposed to just this whatever we decide on any given time period. Moondog is saying that Coinbase rugged his account a couple weeks ago for suspected violation of TOS. And Moondog, you're going to have to help me, being the uneducated noob that I am. I don't know what TOS is. Do you know what TOS is?
I think TOS is terms of service.
Oh, okay.
Which is a way of them just saying you violated some rule, but we're not telling you.
Right. You could have done anything. Okay.
Yeah, you've read the terms of service on some game on your phone. It's crazy.
Yes. Multiple times refused to disclose. Only thing I did was on ramp and transfer. Yeah, and that's the fear. That is what we are trying to find solutions for. What can you do if the centralized exchange is refusing to play ball? Let's see. Viber is saying, I think once crypto is easier to send, like via text, Twitter, we will start to use it inside the community. Yeah, possibly so. I would like to see it, even sooner though, because I know I get messages quite often actually of people asking, do you know of anybody who is willing to, sell their crypto just because of getting kicked off of Coinbase or I think in New York, they were saying that was like the only exchange that they had access to for many, many years. Like the whole state had just restricted all other exchanges. So at any time, I feel vulnerable to that happening. Like they're just removing access to exchanges. And if that's the case, then what other options do we have?
Yeah, well, and that's it. Is like eventually it's got to be peer to peer just to make it so that you're not you're not vulnerable to middlemen, right? Because the whole point of this is like there's all these middlemen in our lives, and it's they have the ability to turn stuff off, turn it off, turn on and off, and that's basically just a violation of our freedom, right?
Yeah.
So if you're born into a body and you're alive and you're walking around and talking, you have freedoms that nobody can take away. And I don't care where you think they come from, they exist, because if they didn't exist, you wouldn't exist. Right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of this is it's basically breaking people out of a hypnotized state, right? A lot of people walk around believing a lot of stuff that's not true, and they're conditioned to believe that, and it's almost like they're hypnotized by what they've been taught as kids and what the whole society goes along with, right? And here we are telling people it can be better, it doesn't have to be this way, and that's a lot for people to wrap their heads around, especially when it comes to stuff like money, because money is a very emotionally charged subject. It has a lot of fear, a lot of emotions tied up into money, because it affects so many parts of your life. And so here we are saying, hey, you can have what you want, you can do what you want, and that scares the hell out of people, because a lot of people, as long as they don't think they can have what they want, they're not responsible to go get it. Right? And once you tell people, hey, you're responsible, it's a lot to take in, it's a lot to process.
Yeah. So what could we possibly do as a community to move this along, move the idea of peer-to-peer networks along, so that we do have essentially a stable net, or a stable net, a security blanket per se, as to how we can transact even without exchanges?
I think that the first step are the meetups, right? Everybody that showed up to the KSB TV tour you guys put on, they were never the same again. The first time that you go meet someone from your community in person and you feel that like electricity, that buzz, it changes the way you see crypto, and it changes the way you see the future, right? So I think it starts with meetups, and then through meetups we get together. Adam from Viber Finance is a great example. Rags to Riches and the Argonaut Treehouse that's working on their stuff. Everyone's working on, how do we make this digestible? How do we get this so people can learn this much, much easier? because it's like learning a new language.
Yeah.
And so once we get more people into the community, um, something magic happens where really, really intelligent people show up that didn't even know about us, and they come into the community, and all of a sudden they're like amazing streamers. They're amazing developers. They're amazing coders. I met some amazing hackers down in San Diego during the birthday party that were lurking on my channel for years. I didn't even know they existed. They come walking up to me and they start talking to me about, oh, I like that video where you did this and you said this. And I'm like, I don't know you, dude. Like, what's going on? He's like, oh, I'm like, I'm a hacker. That's what I do for a living. And I have an army of friends and we're here to help.
Wow.
Like, this magic happens when you get together as a community. And I think very soon we will see physical locations, physical hexicos, if you will, pop up. First in America, the UK, maybe a couple other countries. But it's those like little experimental communities where we can actually like hatch out these ideas, develop them in person, and
Yeah.
hopefully bring a lot of solutions to these problems. Because honestly, I don't see any other communities in crypto tackling some of the stuff the Hexicans are tackling.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see them tackling the layer one problems. I don't see them tackling the wallet problems, and I don't see them tackling the education and fiat on ramp problems the way we are. And a lot of that has to do with with Richard Hart. A lot of people think Richard Hart's amazing because he created Hex. But the
Right.
truth is, Richard Hart's amazing because he created the community first.
Mm-hmm.
The community is what actually ironed out and helped him develop Hex. The community is what came up with the t-shirt. I mean,
Tell
the
me about
magic.
that, because you just opened that up, and so now you piqued my interest. Explain
Well,
that a
this
little
was
bit more.
well, we were told that uh, Richard Hart's like, I'm gonna make this coin that pays interest like a bank CD.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, we are in. That sounds awesome. We would love to make earn interest off our crypto. He goes, yeah, it'll be done in like 6 months. Spoiler alert, it took 2 years. And even though I wasn't I was a lurker back then. I would listen to the spaces. I would listen to the Twitter and YouTube talks. But Richard would say things like, "Hey, what should the interest rate be?"
Mm-hmm.
And some people would be like, "Oh, it should be like 50%," and people like, "Oh, that's too high." And one would be like, "Oh, 1%, that's too low." And so they would just hammer out these issues over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the issues was, how do you make sure that the longer pays better and bigger pays better? Because let's say one person stakes for a year, and then another dude stakes and unstakes every 2 days over and over and over to like eat up the interest. Well, that's not fair to the dude that practiced a year worth of patience.
Right.
And so Dev Kyle came up with the idea of the T-share, which is a way to simulate compounding interest in the real world, right? And so he said, look, why don't we have this mechanism that's harder to get over time, but if you establish it early, if you stake your stuff early, you're going to get a better share rate of the interest paid out. So it's shares, just like shares in a company, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if you want to share in this company, you got to lock up some money.
Right.
And so over time, you got to lock more and more of the Hex coin up to get the same amount of shares in the company to get the interest. And like I said, that T-share is the magic sauce. That's like,
Yes.
that's what closes the loop of the system. So it's not just inflation just running away like we have in the dollar,
Yeah.
right? It's something that actually holds that economic energy inside of a container.
Mm-hmm.
So like
Yeah.
I said, we have the best YouTubers. We aren't even part of our community yet. The best marketers are probably not in our community yet. The best journalists may not be in this community yet. I mean, granted, we have this is not at all to take away from any of the streamers, journalists, and marketers. We've seen some beautiful, amazing people show up that are just brilliant. But because we're going to 10x as a community in the next bull run, that means that our energy, our talents, and our intellect are also going to 10x.
Mm-hmm. And we have to, realize and understand that nobody is. I mean, we're getting paid to be here, and that our T-shares pay us to be here, right?
Mm-hmm.
But no one is on the clock. Richard Hart is not sending any airdrops to anybody's wallets,
No.
for their marketing, for their journalism, for any of
No.
the work that they do. So you're self motivated. You're pumping your own bags when you get
Right.
back to the community by streaming, by writing and promoting the brand. So, like you said, the more people, the more skin in the game, right? The more people have to gain, the more work people will be willing to do for the community and for the industry as a whole. So I look forward to seeing how we grow as a community, especially in this space, because I do feel that it's really really important that we have a sustainable peer-to-peer network opportunities. I think that on the local level, that's where we could really grow more. Like you were saying, we're going to start seeing little hexicos. I know Davin out in Texas, he has been working on building him like a little hexico, a meeting place where people can come together and all understand that they have similar interests, right? They believe in self custody. They believe in this idea of cryptocurrency being the premier financial system. So I think that if we start seeing more local communities develop to where you feel like you have that safe space, because we can do all the national tours that we want to do, just for exposure, for mass adoption. But that's, to me, is not what's going to make the difference in creating the network of trust. Because if they think you're just flying through, then
it's like on Pete's Dragon when those people show up and they're selling like potions and stuff.
yeah,
They roll in with their wagon and they sell their snake skin,
uh-huh.
say snake oil, and then they bounce.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way finance works. That's the
Yeah,
way a lot of like conferences work with real estate, multi-level marketing. They come
yeah.
in, they sell you their product, they sell you their system or their
Save the
course,
dream.
and they're gone. They're gone. You're not going to really get what you wanted out of it. But showing up
Exactly.
every day as a community online and in person, like what Davin's doing, that is a game changer. And I mean, we got this crazy cruise coming up in April. What are
Mm-hmm.
the dates? Dates in
April
April?
24th through the 28th.
24th through the 28th. So you got this crazy fun time to hang out as Hexicans.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure the other people on the boat, they're gonna be like, who are these
Exactly.
insane people dressed in purple and orange and yellow?
Yes.
Why are they so excited?
Exactly.
Why are they
Yeah.
so happy?
Mm-hmm.
And you're gonna get a lot of information there. But then Matty Allen just announced his conference. We are going to take over the Bitcoin conference this year.
Mm-hmm.
We're going down to Miami, 17th to the 20th, same area. And what he's noticed about the Bitcoin conference over the last couple of years is it turned less and less maxi and more into a crypto wide conference. Because what are you going to talk about with Bitcoin?
Right.
Hey, you can send it and you can mine it like you have for 10 years. Who gives it? Who cares, right? I don't
Yeah.
care. It's boring with technology. But a lot of people were open to learning about Hex, learning about Pulse Chain. And so we can go down there and we can party with those guys, or you can join online. He's going to have the online conference as well for those that can't make it in person.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be insane because a lot of crypto doesn't understand how much work's been going on this bear market. They've just been heard the same pump and dump, the same join and trade over here, just the same old, same old, same old. They have no idea that all this revolutionary stuff's been happening in Hex and Pulse Chain, Ecosa, Hedron, Maximus. All this stuff is exploding,
Mm.
that's busting at the seams, and they don't even know all this innovation's going on.
Yeah.
So if we can hit that up right as we're ramping up into the Bitcoin halvening and the spike of 24, 25, that's going to get a lot of people's attention. a lot of people's attention. And granted, like I said, we still have a lot of work to do. We have to have apps that are easy to use. We have to have a way that's easy to get money in and out of crypto.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to have some easy education, right? Stuff that people can wrap their heads around, go, oh, okay, I get this.
Yeah.
Just like the internet 10 years ago. 10 years ago, people didn't use the internet for much, really.
Right.
They were like just figuring it out, and they just had the .com bust. And when the internet came out, very few people would have pictured Amazon, Netflix, all this stuff going on. They were just like, oh, we can sell Beanie Babies on the internet or whatever they were doing, right?
Yeah.
And now the internet runs the world.
Absolutely. I remember I was probably one of the first people to have a Netflix subscription. And back then, if you remember how Netflix came out, they mailed you DVDs, right?
Yeah.
So you get like, depending on your subscription, you get like 2 to 3 DVDs.
And I know what you did.
And then you can go back online and choose more. But even then, I could not have imagined that we'd be moving into the world of, no, your Netflix, like that's how all television is. All television is streaming, right? Like you've got to have 18 different subscriptions to see everything you want to watch, right? And it was so like simple-minded in my mind, like how it was how you were utilizing the internet. It was just to go and make this little purchase here, make this little purchase here, not seeing the full picture. And like you said, that's where we are in crypto is, you think that if you're buying your crypto on Robinhood or Coinbase, oh yeah, I'll just buy $100 and come back to it eventually and it'll be there. And it might not be because you did not do the research required to know that you don't own your crypto until it's in your own possession. So yeah, that's Leroy says he still has his Blockbuster card.
He does. Shout out to Leroy is my Valentine. I give him a shout out on Twitter. That's my meme dealer. He makes me seem a lot funnier than I really am in real life. Shout out to Leroy, man. And he's actually gonna start streaming too.
Nice.
So he's got the bug. He's ready to join the insanity that is the streaming of the Hexicans, right?
Yes, that's awesome. Speaking of make you funnier, I was watching a stream that you were on not too long ago. And I mean, I laughed probably harder than I should have because in my house, dad jokes are like all with us. My kids call me a boomer at least every other day because my husband comes in with these one-liners and these dad jokes, and I just laugh like they're
hilarious.
And I had the opportunity to see you and Cabana go back and forth with your jokes, and I love that. I love that energy. Can you drop us one? You got any jokes for us today?
I actually had one saved for his. It's a dumb one. Real quick one is what do you call a boomerang that doesn't come back when you throw it?
Oh, I don't know.
It's a stick. It's just a stick.
It's just a stick.
Yeah.
I got one for you. Here we go.
Okay.
Why does Snoop Dogg always carry an umbrella?
Why does Snoop Dogg always carry an umbrella? I don't know.
For drizzle, my nizzle. Awful, right? Awful.
No, that was great. You need to get like 7 or 10 of those together, and you need to go on Cabana, take him head to head. He's got some powerful ones. He's been in the game for so long.
Yeah,
him and Vince.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Oh, that was fun. So we're going to be wrapping it up here pretty soon. I want to give you an opportunity to, show your stuff, where they can follow up with you, where you stream, all that kind of information. And then I'm just going to end it with a few updates. You can stick around or hop out if you like. And then that'll be it for today.
Well, thanks so much for reaching out to me. We're taking off to Miami right now. Like tonight,
Oh,
we're headed to Miami for Florida's Burning Man. It's called
mm,
Love Burn, and
okay.
it's on a tropical island. Usually, these crazy festivals take place like in the worst place on earth. Like it's like 110 degrees, windstorms, sandstorms. This is going to be beautiful. So I'm excited to check that out. And he reached out right the last day that I could stream. So thank you for having me on. I appreciate it so much. And if you guys can make it to the cruise, I know you've sold out, right? Cruise
So
is
the
sold
Hex
out.
it's not actually sold out. We
Hmm.
did reach the final payment for if you had done a deposit in advance. So now
Hmm.
whatever inventory is left is just what's left. It's mainly interior cabins that's left and a few balcony rooms that's left. Pricing is a little bit higher than it was before. We don't really know if there'll be some, sometimes cruises, if they have some last minute inventory, then they'll throw a sell in at that end, the last couple months. So I'm just kind of watching it to see if I see any like awesome deals or sales, then of course I'll promote it. But yep, that's pretty much where we are.
Yeah, because I kind of want to take my kids on the cruise to prove to them that I have friends. And again, I'm the like the lame boomer here at the house, so I'm still looking at that, trying to make that work because I really do want to join the cruise. That sounds like a lot of fun to be out
Yes.
there with those guys. But mostly, I've been trying to get my Telegram group going. It's called Anti Gravity Saga, and
Okay.
basically, we're writing a story and art for a new NFT project. So
Hmm.
instead of just coming up with some JPEG, we're coming up with an actual story that we hope to develop into a video or a movie to kind of get people's attention. And the
Yeah.
idea of the project is to take the degens in crypto, the people that love gambling on JPEGs and love gambling in casinos, and we're going to trick them into the world of delayed gratification and interest without them knowing.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what I've been working on. But if you want to go on there and do some like AI, because we're using AI to make the art, we're using AI to write a bunch of the story. So we're kind of like it's kind of like a weird collaborative effort. I do have an author with 95 pages already written, so we've got a book in the making. We're having a lot of fun there. So come hang out, you can nerd out with us there. Anti Gravity, and then X-Ray Vision everywhere. I'm doing streams. I'm trying to get people to do my TikTok and stuff like that for me because I'm old and I don't know how to use Instagram. I don't.
Oh,
My daughter yelled at me because she went on a dance with went on a group date with all these kids.
uh-huh.
So I go on Instagram and I'm liking the pictures. And my daughter's like, "You're creeping. You can't do that. You can't like people's pictures." I'm like, "You can't?" She's like, "No, you can't do that." I'm like, "But don't they put them out there for like to you to like them?"
Likes.
She's like, only cool people." I'm like, "Okay, well that hurts." And then so I'm like, "Should I go unlike them?" She's like, "No, you can't unlike them now because then that means you're calling them ugly." And I'm like, "I don't know these people. I was just trying to like the pictures you were in, and now I'm in trouble from kids I don't know." Like it was a nightmare. I don't understand this shit. I don't. So I know how to stream.
Moon dog nailed it. Anybody can like it, but you did.
I know. I don't know the rules, Kaylin. I don't understand this shit.
Yeah.
So, but I am everywhere under X-Ray Vision. If you guys understand these platforms, go and like and share my stuff. I won't be offended. I will not think you're a creep, and I will not think I'm ugly. Okay, you just do your thing. I'm the opposite of rags to riches. Like, comment, subscribe. I will come do your dishes if you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, I don't care. I got no shame. I'm all about building the community, trying to help a million people, family. No shave till pulse chain, which was a mistake.
Oh,
Um, yeah, we're gonna shave this when Pulse Chain launches, and we're gonna grow another one till it hits 1,000x. So if any of
absolutely.
this craziness sounds like fun to you, come have fun with us. What are you feeding that beard?
Clearly, the
Just
people have recognized what is going on with that beard.
yeah, yeah,
But
it's fun. I was gonna dye it, but people said I've heard that girls like the gray because it makes you look responsible. I was like, that's weird.
Right. Ask your
Yeah,
wife. Ask your wife what she thinks about
she
that.
loves it. She loves the gray. It's crazy. But thank you so much, on to your announcements. And
Absolutely.
we do have one meetup in Salt Lake. Maddie
Okay.
Allen's coming out to hang out in Salt Lake, and so we'll be doing that on Saturday the 25th, somewhere in Salt Lake. So
What
look for
of
those
this month? Coming up
of
soon
this,
in
yeah,
February?
February.
Okay.
Yep. So if you guys
Nice.
are in the area, hit us up. We'll put that on Twitter and
Yeah,
Telegram.
definitely get that promoted. So yeah, once again, thank you for coming and joining me on stream. You are always a good time in person
Thanks.
on stream. Always enjoy our conversations. I too will be bringing my family on the Hex cruise. A little bit different with those guys. They expect to go on the cruise. They're just like, are your Hex friends going to be there? Like, yes, my Hex friends are going to be there. They're like, can we just take one vacation without your Hex friends? So, no, definitely a great opportunity to bring the family out. That's actually why I chose Royal Caribbean, because a lot of times they offer promos that say kids are free, right? So you pay for the adults, but you only pay like the taxes and port fees on the kids, which adds like an extra $100 per kid. So if you're interested in coming to the Hex Cruise, I definitely recommend that you bring your kids. It brings down your average price per person.
Do you know what age is considered a kid?
Anybody under 17, 17 and
Oh,
under.
sweet.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah. And then this is the page of 369. I collaborated with these guys, actually, just half of the team. Schmyrus is the artist. I collaborated with them to create the Hex Cruise t shirt that I showed you guys earlier. This is it here. I should probably remove this so that you can actually see it good.
There we go. Yeah, that looks good.
Boom. Yeah, so you guys see it has the KSB flying. It's got the hex.com on the boat. And then real cute on the towel, there's another little Hex logo. I thought that was really cute how he put that together. So support him and what they're doing over at 369. They have their website up. They make some other Hex premium merch. What I really love about what they do is that they collaborate with different content creators to create the images. Like this one that you see with the bird, that is a collaboration with SJ. This brown one is a collaboration with Thoughts Child. Thoughts Child.
Thoth child.
He hates when I mess up his name. He's like, my mom wasn't a thought. I was like, I'm so sorry, bro. It's hard to pronounce. But yeah, please support 369. They have really, really awesome premium merch. And if you're interested in trying to win a spot on the Hex Cruise, postgames.net is giving away a free room on the Hex Cruise. You just need to join their Telegram group. Just search Hex Cruise giveaway in Telegram, and you should find that group. I'm pretty sure there's also a link in the description of this video. And then they just ask you to do things like post videos playing their games or like their, tweets and all that kind of stuff. And then you too can have a chance at being with us on the Hex Cruise. So that's pretty much all I have for today.
Did we hit your goal of 250 votes on the Hex Awards yet?
We have not. It is really, really sad how many votes we have got lately. And it's probably because I failed to talk about it every stream.
It's okay. It's okay. Like I said, if we don't hit that goal, we're going to come up with another goal, because I've got a scavenger hunt going on, and I was doing it all myself, which doesn't make any sense. I just realized that talking to ATX Crypto the other day. He's like, why don't you have people that you're doing the scavenger hunt with give away the words? I was like, yeah, that makes way more sense. Then it's the actual scavenger hunt, because they were just coming back and checking my website and then taking the money when I hit 12 words.
Yeah.
So there's a wallet right now with $200 in it, and we've revealed 3 words already out of the 12. So the first one had $100. Someone bounced with that one. We revealed all the words meeting goals. This one has 200. The next one, I'm just saying, it might have like 500. The next one might have like
Wow.
$1,000. I'm just saying,
Need to get in on
it could
that.
get crazy.
So
But
basically what happens
Yep.
is all the words are revealed and everybody just has a rush dash to steal that money out that wallet.
yeah, yeah. But I
Well,
made it too easy for people to find it in one location. So like I
mm,
said, when we meet one of your goals, whether it's
yeah,
getting more votes on the awards or more subscribers to different channels, whatever it is we're working on, I'm going to send you the word, and then they've got to come watch your stream to get it.
yes.
See? So
That's great.
I'm learning, but this is going to be going on and on and on until my project launches. And then when my project launches, I'll be giving away really valuable stuff inside my project. So
I like it. I like that a lot. You got
so
some clever ideas over there, X-Ray Vision.
let's punch a bear in the throat, man. Punch a bear in the throat. Look at that bear and just punch him right in the throat.
Absolutely. Once again, guys, thank you for joining me today with X-Ray Vision. Tomorrow, same time every day, Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Pacific time. That's 3 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow, I'll have Walrus on the show. We're going to dive deep into stable coins, figure out what purpose they have in this ecosystem, this cryptocurrency space. So please join us for that tomorrow. If nothing else, it has been real, and see you guys next time.
Much love.